Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the second series of tonight for the AEC Rainbow Six Minor League. I am Bluepanda. Covert has stepped away, and I am being joined by Han. Han, how are we doing?
I'm alright, thank you. How are you going, Blue?
Good. We saw an interesting series in the last one. Lethality versus, I do believe it was Vague Esports. Yeah, it was. I know who it was. I was there. I was casting. And Vague did take it out quite convincingly, 2-0 in the end. The second map was a bit of a hiccup for them, but that first map was rather one-sided. And now we come to Insidious, the other side of that matchup. We got to see Insidious versus Lethality the other week. And it was a three-game series. Lethality took the first one, and Insidious took the second two. We saw Lethality lose reasonably easy in the first map, and they took it a little bit further in the second one, but they did ultimately lose again. Are we going to see the dominance out of Insidious that we saw in the second two maps for them? That is the question. Han, what maps are you hoping to see tonight?
I really want to see Theme Park. That's all I want to see is Theme Park, because it's a great map, and I think it'd be funny to see what sort of strats they come up with. But during the intermission, Insidious has already banned Villa, so that's just off the table straight away. So I can't say I want to see Villa; it's already gone. But certainly seeing some of the bigger maps in the pool, seeing all these small maps constantly, it really does limit what you're going to see out of the gameplay. The strats are the same, they've been in the pool for a long time, everything's going to be more or less linear, but with the bigger maps there's just so much to work with, so much space, so many rooms, different sites, things like that.
Yeah, and we are heading into the rest of these bans. It may not be showing on screen just yet, but the players are going ahead with it anyway. We are just going to get that on the screen in a moment for you guys to see, but Consulate will be the map taken away by Fatality. Sign up Fatality, that'd be an interesting thing to play into. But yeah, it'll be Fatality taking away Consulate, so we might be seeing that one. We've already seen it once tonight, and it did go in favour of Vague. It'll be interesting to see what these teams opt for in this first round of pick when we get to it. Coastline, Clubhouse, Cafe, Theme Park still available, Han. We could see it, yeah.
Oh, I really want to see Theme Park. That's all I want to see is Theme Park. It's such a good map.
Yeah, it has been shown a lot more love in, the pro levels in the last couple of weeks. It is, it was coming to an end. But it did make for some great gameplay, some great watching as well. I got to catch a few of those matches when I wasn't too busy, and I was definitely enjoying what I was seeing out of some of those teams. But they're taking their time for sure in terms of these bans. I'd love to see a Cafe. It has been a while since I got to cast a match on there. Clubhouse is always a fan favorite, and Coastline as well. I was hoping to see a bit of Villa tonight, but we won't be seeing that anyway. Theme Park is still very much on the table.
I imagine we'll see Clubhouse. It seems like it's the favorite of every single team. They all love Clubhouse, and rightly so. It's a nice map to play. You got still quite a bit of you can still be pretty dynamic on your Clubhouse attacks and defenses, even though it is one of the older maps in the pool. But it's just a nice map to play. It's well rounded. It isn't one of the maps sort of like Cafe, sort of like Villa, that's really defender sided. It still errs on the side of the defense, but it does allow for a lot of rounds to be picked up by the attacking side.
Yeah, Clubhouse as well is one of those maps which has a plethora of strategies which you can pull out on both sides. It makes for, a bit of a rougher time if you're not quite willing to mix things up. If you do play that linear strategy, it can be punished quite heavily because everyone already knows the standard stuff. You've got to mix it up just a wee bit. And there's definitely been some big adaptations considering the standard bans as well in terms of operators. We see the Thatcher banned out. Maverick has become hugely popular on that map because you can just burn those walls open and around CCTV and Hot Tub. And there's so much adaptation being put in the game currently.
Yeah, I think seeing the Maverick band is getting more common on even other maps which don't have so many external walls just because of how powerful it is, especially with the frag grenades now. Like you see lots of teams opting just to put a little hole on top of a wall and chucking a nade through it because that's just so much easier and less risky than trying to actually take away the reinforcement. But certainly his utility mixed with the nades, mixed with a fantastic gun, just makes him just an all-rounded, really powerful operator. And often this defense doesn't want to play with him or around him, and they just don't want to deal with any of those little holes coming through and getting some free kills.
Yeah, we are coming into the picks. It will be Coastline to start us off. The pick of Insidious here. So I'm a big fan of Coastline as well. It's one of those maps that makes for some interesting plays. You get some wicked frags out of teams as well, holding those tight angles and playing on some of those external balconies. It's going to be a good one to start off. It'd be interesting to see what Fatality opt to pick off second. Theme Park is still available. There could be that pocket pick. No, unfortunately, it's going to be Cafe. Will they ban out that Theme Park? Will it be out of side a match? That is the question. Clubhouse bought it. Theme Park still to go.
From what we've seen on Coastline, it's a pretty close match. Like we casted that Crusaders and I believe it was Rise Esports
Yeah, it was
match
Rise.
on Coastline.
That was a great one.
And that was an 8-6, brought it all the way to overtime. I mean, Rise were 6-4 down, brought it back to 6-6, and then Crusaders closed it out 8-6. But that was a really close match on Coastline, and hopefully we see another close match on between Insidious and Fatality, considering Coastline is probably the most attacker-sided map. It has the biggest chance to get a 3-3 half. I mean, that's what you want on Coastline. And as an attacker, getting more than 2 rounds on your attacking side is really good.
Yeah, and we have had border banned out, so this is it. Are they going to ban out Clubhouse? Are they going to ban out Theme Park? That is really the question. What are Fatality going to do? They're going to ban out the Theme Park. I'm so sorry, Han. It will be Clubhouse to be the decider.
Why? So yeah, we've got a Coastline for our first map, and that will be... Fatality have chosen to defend first on Coastline. So you see Insidious on their attacking side. Generally the favoured side for most people who want to play Coastline, considering how aggressive they can be. And you'll have Insidious defending on Kafe for our second map.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some spectacular plays out of this Insidious side on Coastline already. Be interesting to see if they bring that same level of intensity. I mean, we saw... There were a couple of clutch moments in that game. I mean, Fangalator got that clutch defuse in Kitchen. He stuck it. He didn't pull off at all and relied heavily on his team to pick up the frag outside that Kitchen window to secure them that round. And I mean, if we see the same level of intensiveness and ability out of Insidious in this game, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they are able to shut it out in the 2-0.
Yeah, I'm actually expecting a pretty close match on Coastline, but certainly 2-0s are how most of our matches have been favoured so far. So I'm expecting a close one on Coastline, and then just a pretty easy close out on Kafe.
Yeah, and it is going to be just a little bit of time before we get into that. We're just waiting on the players to get into the lobby. And I mean, you look at how the tournament is shaping up so far. Skyfire played the other night. It was a pretty spectacular game. Closed things out quite easily. We've had a couple other matches around the circuit as well. You look at Insidious versus Lethality. It was Insidious taking that one out in the end. Lethality, we've seen them lose twice now so far, losing to Vague tonight as well. And I mean, is there any, teams or players that have been huge standouts to you so far, Han?
I mean, right now, there's kind of Crusaders is looking fantastic. So is Augulus. There's just a couple of teams in each bracket that I think when they come up against each other, it should be like sort of like a clash of the titans. I mean, the two teams that are just destroying on maps. I mean, Augulus 7-1, 7-3, I'm pretty sure, 7-1, 7-2. Crusaders won pretty convincingly, even though the first map was an 8-6, the second map was a 7-2 on Coastline. Like, it's just, you get a couple of teams each bracket that really are standing out to me right now, and it just seems like they're going to come against each other and really have some good siege going on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Group 4 is going to be an interesting one to watch. Sure, Monarch as well have picked up a win. They are in the same group as Skyfire. Looking at Group 1, it is Insidious, Lethality, Vague, and Fatality. So really, this game is going to be rather telling of how things are going to be going. One Lethality lost obviously to Vague. This is the second game for Insidious. If Fatality pick this up, it will prove that it is going to be a rather close group all said and done. You look at Group 2, it's Augulus, Downfall, Unrefined, and Altered. Augulus and Downfall both picking up wins in that group. Group 3 is Crusaders and Seventh Heaven who have picked up wins there. Cartel and Rise unfortunately unable to find anything. And it was that game that we saw on Coastline between Crusaders and Rise that was rather telling of potential there. Despite losing it, Rise put in a huge effort. As they are just getting into lobby now, there are a couple of names which will be well known on this side. Kingers, Apples, Red, Sparked, GG on the blue side here. And in Fatality Apex, it's Nick, Fluoro, and Sadzi. So they are just getting in, trickling in slowly, but I mean, it's definitely going to be a game to watch.
Yeah, certainly. Last player's just about going to be here soon, but we should be in the operator bans very shortly. I'm not expecting to see the same bans we saw last time we casted Coastline. I'm not expecting a Jaeger Buck ban. I will expect to see the Habana again, maybe. Certainly teams don't like playing against her, even though she's not the most overpowered operator on Coastline. She's certainly a very powerful one. So it should be interesting to see what they choose to ban, if they want to go for some target bans, or if they want to just try and force the other team to play in their playstyle. Yeah,
I mean, denying that Havana, those lines of sight that she can open up in some of those reinforced walls can absolutely just undermine what defenders are trying to do here. And we have the final member of Fatality in the lobby, so we are going to be hitting Coastline very, very soon. It will be Insidious on the attacking side, so it'll be interesting to see what they bring coming into this. Obviously, bans are going to be hugely impactful. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some rather interesting defender bans. I mean, Mira has been prioritized. The likes of Goyo has been heavily prioritized in terms of defender bans. Echo, there's so much denial that potential in bans coming soon. So we are going to be out pretty soon.
Yeah, there's just some players having some issues with Moss, which is no one's ever heard of issues with Moss. That's a first. It's a flawless program, but we should be in the game very shortly. Certainly, I think from the side of Insidious, since they are actually attacking first, I expected them to be defending first. Honestly, I expected. Alright, your opponent picks coast, you pick attack, and you go straight in. You just like full sense, show what you can bring to the table, win that first map. It's their map, and then close it out on your second. But I mean, they chose defense first, which on Coastline is interesting. On any other map, it'd be sure they pick defense, but on Coastline, it's interesting.
And we are going to be loading straight into Coastline. Insidious on attack for the second series of the night here in Group A for AEC Rainbow Six Minor League Season 3. Bans coming out, and unfortunately, we've already had someone leave. This is not the start we wanted.
In record timing, Red has Red's left the match. Hopefully, he should join back in just a second. It's probably just a Ubisoft issue. And he should be back hopefully before the map bans. And Jackal, first ban from Insidious. Oh, sorry, from Fatality, sorry. Jackal ban on Coastline is not that surprising. Certainly with a map which relies on roamers so much, having the Jackal off the table for your defense is a pretty strong ban, actually.
Yeah, I mean, being able to clear up those roamers easily does mean that retaking sites is just a little bit harder for defenders if they are denied. Coming into the second ban, it will be that Blackbeard looking to deny the play around some of these balconies where the headshots are so key. If you cannot hit them, you can be punished so heavily as a defender.
I mean, the amount of windows and doorways and exits towards the outside on this map, certainly having Blackbeard off the board is going to be very nice for the defending side. Just purely because the whole point of this game is one-shot headshots, right? And Blackbeard just devoids that. But Echo is a second ban from Insidious. That's a pretty default ban. You see how powerful Echo is whenever he's in play. He can stop any last-second plants or any of that nonsense.
Yeah, the diffuser denial is going to be targeted out here. They do have a lot of options to play around it, but it is gone. Red is back in the game, which is good. He wasted no time getting back into things. Final operator ban will actually be the Clash. That is something that we have seen played to huge detriment to attacking sides. That shield operator on the defense is so infuriating, but we won't be seeing it on Coastline, and I can imagine that it will be Fatality breathing a sigh of relief there.
No mirror ban. That means that Penthouse and Theatre is actually a viable site. Generally, you don't see Penthouse and Theatre ever play because mirror's banned, and without mirror, it's basically impossible to hold. It's way too hard, you can't hold the angles, site's too small, and you just lose it. But mirror's in play, which means you can play that site. It opens up that fourth site to defending teams.
Yeah, and we are going to be heading into the picks. Whamai on the board for Fluoro. Mozzie for Etznick. Pretty standard stuff in terms of defenders. Blue Bar Sunrise start off the bat, and it will be also, in terms of the attack, the Capital pickup for Apples.
So your Blue Bar defense is it's still a really good site. I mean, often there's some debate over which is the best site on Coastline, considering that both Kitchen, Blue Bar, and Hooker are all really good, very viable. But it should be interesting to see what defense Fatality opt to, or how they're going to hold Blue Bar. You generally either see a sort of like quote-unquote donut-shaped hold, where they hold main lobby and open up that wall along Blue Bar, or they hold upstairs and keep that vertical pressure, so the attacking side can't just like sweep along and take anyone out from above.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good limit testing site for defending sides. Figure out where your opponents are going to be prodding and piercing into this, the armor of the defenders, so to speak. And we are heading into the dying seconds of prep phase, and it's definitely... I mean, I'm excited for sure to see these two teams face up. Insidious was a great watch last time. It made for some close gameplay, and I hope we see the same level of gameplay in this one. But, I mean, we're in action phase, Han. And early frags are basically guaranteed at this stage.
Yeah, pretty much. You kind of can't stack on site. You can't really do a turtle because the sites are so small and so close together. So we're definitely going to see a lot of roaming. The Vigil's really powerful in the roam, and with the Mozzie combo, that's just even more powerful. Just dying all intel, and hopefully Sadsi gets some just unknown people who are completely unawares to where they're sitting, just to walk straight in and get some free frags. But we
Yeah,
should
not only
see
that,
is
I
that
believe it was
Hibana
stolen
rebels
as
out.
well, though.
Yeah, the Mozzie actually pestered that drone. But I think, yeah, that might just reveal the position to the Nomad by throwing his magnet out. But you know, about 50 seconds down, and it's just the attacking team is preparing to set up their push.
Yeah, and the Wemai has been so instrumental in some of these games so far, denying that utility with that magnet of his, which regens as well, which is such a great incorporation into his kit, meaning that he is relevant from start to finish of some of these rounds, not to mention the gun that he does hold as well is incredibly powerful. King is opening things up onto Fluoro, so that is the Wemai who I was just talking about down. King takes a bit of damage, but still he's at Hibana, and he's going to be able to open up this wall, get some lines of sight in onto that bomb site as well, as it is going to be the wide roam from TVC heading towards cool vibes there, but it is going to be the Mozzie downstairs. It's Nick. And, I mean, he's given away his position for sure. He's hitting that barbed wire. They've got to know he's there. The IQ outside. The flash being thrown down into cool vibes, looking to try and stop a push aggressively up those stairs. But it will be TVC just pushing back.
Yeah, you can see they've not opted for any upstairs presence, which means you can see Ashes just take out that mid jammer on that blue wall, so Hibana can get it open. And yeah, no upstairs presence, which means they have full roam if they, yeah, see that Nomad has breach charges, they can do some vertical, actually push these players out of Sunrise in these anchor positions. But Sadsi goes down in main lobby. It's a good frag. That's your only roam in main lobby, which means there's just 3 left on site.
Yeah, Sparks picking that one up will take it down to a 5v3, heavily in favour of the attacking side. Apex, though, will refrag out onto King as the Hibana now gone red, peeking through that window, and the Nomad will take off the head of It's Nick. The diffuser is going down. Scopes throwing out those poison grenades to try and delay things. Apples is just going to sit on it here. The jump aggressively into Blue Bar by Scopes, looking for something here, is not really going to be able to find much, as the support from the attacking side is largely outside. The rotation back has been played out there as Apples will kill Scopes, leaving it all up to Apex here to do as much work as possible. And Apples jutting it out as Insidious decisively taking round 1.
I mean, really good round from Insidious. They pushed out the roamers, got those early frags. Certainly losing that ice so early really impacted that roam, because that's now a solo roam for Vigil. And you can see he's got picked off pretty easy by the Nomad. Which leaves site with 3 people on side. They have vertical pressure as well. There's not much the defending side can really do. Certainly that smoke missing the canister on whoever was Apple's defusing wasn't great. But that's a attacking round win to the side of Insidious.
Yeah, I believe the poison grenade did just land on Blue Bar there, where in fact the attacker who was planting the diffuser was sitting back towards the wall that had been opened up by Hibana. We are heading into round 2. We are going to be opting for that hookah billiards room hold this time, and we have seen Insidious pull out some spectacular plays going into that.
Yeah, certainly hookah's a harder site to take, just by virtue of it being, you can go through Aqua, you can go through hookah, but it's just a tiny draw on hookah, and it's, again, a tiny draw on Aqua. So it really allows the defense to bottleneck and to push all the attackers into certain pathways they can just cut off. So it'll be interesting to see what Fatality choose to do in the site, considering they just lost Blue Bar, which is generally the 3rd site teams go to, but it would be interesting to see what they do, and certainly the hard counters from Insidious, running the Hibana, who we were talking about pre-match. She can open up that pink wall. That's really powerful. That stops the smoke player, where the smoke is right now. He's probably going to sit there for the whole round. Considering he can smoke through that little, half wall, and it clips through the wall, which is a bit weird considering they fixed all of that. But yeah, it's just a really powerful position.
Yeah, I mean, is it really a fix? Is it a temporary band-aid? You be the judge of that. But they have some hard anchor potential here. They've got the Maestro, they've got the smoke as well. So if they do sit on site, which it doesn't look like is going to be the play out of Apex, he's going to sit in by Cool Vibes, tucked into that little nook at the top of the stairs there, as the attackers already aggressively getting up onto the roof to start out that drone game. Look for where these defenders are holding. And I mean, the way it went for Insidious in the last one, this could be another quite quick round. Is again, it's King is just using that Hibana to get information in onto Pink.
Certainly in that smoke position with the Hibana, with the wall open, pink wall open, is really vulnerable. If Hibana can get a nice angle in, they can pretty much take him out. But there goes TVCX, taking one onto Sadsi. That's your Jaeger down already, but it's down, it's not too bad, but mad advantage on the side of Insidious again.
Yeah, the utility of Apples on that Capital, flushing out Sadzi, unfortunately, and straight into the waiting arms, or bullets rather, of TVC there on the Zoph here. as they do clean that up, giving themselves a man advantage heading into round 2. The upside down repel from Spark will clean up It's Nick. So that is the smoke now. That entry denial completely burnt out
You
of
can see the power of that
Insidious
Habana
side.
pushing that smoke all the way into the arms of IQ. It's just, without that smoke play there, A side's actually clear. Like, you see Maestro and Valkyrie on that top cool vibe stairs, which IQ can actually cover from that upside down repel. So it is pretty much a free site for Insidious, but I don't think they know it just yet.
Yeah, they're giving a lot of respect over this Fatality side, probably a little bit more than, they should be in this situation, considering how much dominance they've already established in on this top site. And they are just playing it safely, using those drones once again. They're just taking it easy, playing the safe game, but looking for those roamers. There is still a Legion on the board, as well as that Maestro and the Valkyrie. So there's still a lot of information gathering tools there for them. And I mean, this could be the vertical play as the diffuser is going down. Spray out from King as well. Drop scopes there. The push up the stairs as well is going to be denied, as he will take out Apex. Fluoro will retrade onto red. It is all up to this Valkyrie. 1 versus 4. Trying to do what he can with that MPX spray through the soft wall there. That bullet hole giving them information. Will find the head of Spark though, and Fluoro is not able to clutch that one out. TBC will finish him off in the end. That Zofia putting in work with that big gun.
I mean, again, NC's got that entry pick. They were then got that secondary frag onto the smoke, and then they were 5-3 up, and then they just planted. Like, it's pretty much worked out the same as the first round, just on a different bomb site.
Yeah, it definitely has been decisive out of this Insidious side already. They're flushing out that hard anchor potential, denying those little hidey holes out of the defenders as well, just making it that little bit harder to hold on to these positions. And if you can't do that, you can't really defend too well either. And we are heading into round 3. We're going to be heading back to Hookah Billiards again, and it's going to be the exact same pickup out of this Fatality side. Aside from the Bandit, they're opting into that instead because if they give up pink as easily as they did last time, you're going to have a hard time defending any sort of site.
Certainly, as soon as that smoke was pushed off his hold on that pink bar by the Habana, because of, they had nothing on the wall. I mean, it was basically a free site, because they can't actually hold it from anywhere else. If they push into pink, they can get shot from the holes. If they come through rotation, you have IQ in the window. It really just locks them out of sight. So bringing that Bandit, I think, is a smart choice coming from the side of Fatality. They certainly need to keep those pink walls in their control.
Yeah, definitely a good adaptation going into the 3rd round. I mean, doing the same thing over and over again, especially if it doesn't work, is a sure sign that you are probably not going to be able to take this map away, but they do read that. They do hard bandit that entire pink wall, so it's going to be a hard time for this Insidious side to push It's Nick out of position here, as we are heading into action phase. They've got the roam threat out of the Legion, and the Bandit as well, who are going to be looking to find as many picks as possible off-site. But it's, again, Maestro holding by Cool Vibes.
Just got the one-man roam this time, I think. Fatality's realised that having the 2 people over on the penthouse side just wasn't working out. They need that sort of manpower on site to really lock out these attackers. Like, just having the Legion at that 90 hallway. But, again, no vertical presence. They're not relying on the fact that there's a Bandit with a Nitro, or any other... Like, last round they had Valkyrie with a Nitro too. They weren't playing down below. But then, Insidious isn't pushing below either. Like, this could be like a free plant denial from the side of Fatality, but I don't think they're reading into it.
I mean, Bandit is running the barbed wire, in fact, as well.
Oh, is he?
This time. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a bit of a different style of play, not opting into that vertical threat of the Nitro cell. So they are just going to be that little bit safer, this Insidious side from below the spray. Coming up from the side window, it'll be Fluoro picking up that kill. Despite not having the Nitro, he did enough work with them. MP7, I don't think he quite realizes that just around the corner is Kingers, though, on that Habana. Sadzi will pick up Kingers. It will be a trade out from in the support of the Bandit there. Fluoro in a rough position, gets helped out by the teammates. So at least they're covering each other's backs. And we find ourselves now in a 5-3 in favor of Fatality.
Yeah, but IQ swinging into Hooker. What can they do? Whoops, yes, Smash on Cam's completely unaware. That's a free frag for Sparks. Now he's got side control on Hooker, and they find Jaeger and Aqua. But what can IQ do? You can see the diffuser rotating because, yeah, they're full control.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just sitting on his cams there does mean that Apex is taken out completely uncontested. Spark sitting on Cool Vibe stairs is going to be looking for that angle down the hallway. He sees the elbow. Will be Spark looking for that kill. Poison grenade going out. He sees the head as well, just the pixels. He also sees someone behind the little cutout there. Will get the kill, but be traded out. And Fatality, just a quick series of frags on both sides. There's Fatality coming up clean in that round.
I mean, honestly, I'm just confused what just happened. Because you saw Insidious had full site control, and then they just lost it like that. Like, just a snap of the fingers, and Fatality retook. That's a really good retake from Fatality. They pushed up those Cool Vibe stairs, pushed down at Nutting Hallway, and collapsed at the same time. IQ on those Cool Vibe stairs couldn't take those two gunfights at the same time. It's just not possible. That's a really good retake from the side of Fatality.
Look, I usually pride myself on being able to keep up with what's going on, but even in that round, I had no idea. Spark picked up a double. It was then Fluoro in close, cleaning up as well. And I mean, Lethality, it was, sorry, not Lethality, that was the team that they played last time, Fatality. It looked like they were going to be swept over there, and all of a sudden it just turns around heavily in their favor. We find ourselves 2-1, heading back to Blue Sunrise in round 4. And I mean, we're heading back to that Vigil on Sadsy, that roam threat, and it hasn't quite worked out for them as well as they probably would have liked, but we'll see if it plays a little bit differently in round 4.
Yeah, Insidious seems to be kind of ignoring the roamers, just opting to not care that they're around, or not care that they might be, holding positions that they might need to take until later in the round, which means I'm not sure if this roam will be actually really very good for Fatality, considering they're going to this blue bar site, which they lost pretty handily. I mean, they lost with a 4-1 at the very end. So maybe they do something new. Maybe they actually hold upstairs this time instead of doing this sort of east and west hold.
Yeah, I mean, all the roamers are really good for at the way playing into the way that Insidious are is that retake potential. And when you can find yourself in a position holding outside, holding some of these lines of sight with crossfires set up as well. Being a roamer is great and all, but when you're walking straight into 2 lines of sight of some pretty hefty guns, it only counts for so much. And when we are heading into the action phase, and it's exactly the same style we've seen out of Insidious so far, head up to the top floor, get the drones out and ready, and find that information.
TVCX just struggling a bit with the air conditioning, but it's alright because you can see now Fleur is holding this aggressive office position. Now, office is a really good place to hold for the defending side. It really slows down the attackers, considering it's the room right next to site. And last time the side of Insidious got this room completely uncontested, but this time you got the Jaeger sitting in there. Fluoro was really good in the Bandit last round, getting that entry pick, and hopefully he can do some more damage this round.
Yeah, they've got a lot of support there for the attackers. Fluoro holding in on site there on blue bar, but there is going to be Sparked peeking in that window, looking for the head of anyone possible, scared of that flank potential as well. There's a lot of support there. Spark taking some damage for free. Isn't going to be able to find anything in return, and through that soft wall, and more bullets are flying. He's a bit scared now after that initial damage being taken. It will be Fluoro holding that site well. Kingers, though, swings in.
Oh no, through the drone hole we got him, I think.
Oh yeah, no, it was a pretty clean kill though, all said and done. So it means that blue bar is now wide open. King is acknowledging that hatches are there, and there is potential from that vertical play. It's Nick sitting on cool vibes with that Mozzie, waiting for the second floor plays to be coming out of the attacking side. More breach charges being dropped. That vertical play coming out of TVC on the Zofia. Sadsy, though, will find red. That is the Nomad down the roam potential. Will be traded out immediately by TVC, so that Vigil is now gone. That is the roam threat. But Fatality did have Scobes as well, taking a lot of damage here. Being shot out, that is a smoke, that entry denial, and unfortunately for him, he will be crisply cleaned up by Apples there. I believe it was the Flame Arrow that did the job. It's Nick and Apex have a lot of work to do here, but there are 2 members of this attacking side who are rather low. Sparked and TVC have copped a lot of damage as it is, and Apex spraying in, takes a bit of damage himself. It's Nick is there. TVC rotating in from behind, will find it's Nick. Unfortunately though, being so low, he will be cleaned up. So 3v2 currently in favor of the attacking side. There's a lot of work to do here for the defenders, but it is entirely possible. We have seen stranger things in this game, and I mean, they're waiting their time. We might even see a run out. No.
Seconds left on the board. Spark picks up 1, and then there's a second from Apples on Nick, and that just closed out the round for Insidious. Another really good side take from the attacking side. Like, just phenomenal. I mean, the utility dump onto those 2 players holding the half wall, or holding the reinforced wall between site, just locked them completely out.
Yeah, I don't even know what the plan was there from Fatality. They took their time when the diffuser had been put down. They waited, they tried to figure out what to do, and then when we went for it, they were just mopped up so very, very easily there. And we are heading to kitchen this time, down as well as service entrance. Where am I? For Fluoro going to be picked up there, and Apple's committing to that Capital, which has been, I mean, arguably instrumental in some of these early rounds.
You can see, this is Insidious' map, and you can see why they picked it. They're throwing up on the attack side. They're doing really well. These aren't close one-on-one rounds. These are pretty dominating either way, probably except for that 3rd round, which kind of swung in the way of Insidious and immediately swung back in the way of Fatality. Every other round has been pretty much just a closeout for Insidious.
Yeah, I mean, playing down on this first floor now. We've seen Insidious play around it before. Unfortunately, they lost it a couple of times. Fangalator on that lethality side was able to clutch out a couple of big diffusers. And we'll see if they have amended their ways and found strategies to get in and dominate this bomb site and clear out the defense as well. But I mean, it's a pretty expected setup here from this defending side. They've got the Wemai, they've got the utility denial with Jaeger as well. They're going to be looking to hold it aggressively. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some verticality coming out as well. Let roam onto the first floor can be absolutely pivotal on this side.
I mean, certainly if they'd have no roamers up in Master or Theater or VIP, or even in the 90 corridor, if Insidious drones it out and says it early, that is so much map control. That is so much map pressure they can apply to site, because the entire roof above everywhere on this side, above A, B, above bathroom, above service, above kitchen, it's all soft. Everything's soft. And with the amount of breach charges that the side of Insidious is running, and it was a fear with those two impacts as well, that's a lot of vertical pressure. That's a lot of vertical pressure, which is going uncontested because Fatality is no one upstairs.
Yeah, and they are getting in position, droning out that IQ, doing a lot of work. We have had someone hit upstairs, though, from the looks of it, to try and contest this first four play. It will be, I believe it's the Wemai who's headed upstairs, looking to play up and around and cut out there in the closet. And, I mean, it's a one player. And, I mean, despite having such a big gun, he does miss those shots onto the drone. So is going to be scouted out. They know he's on the first floor. He's going to be incredibly isolated at the moment. He is sitting in penthouse there, looking for the spray out that window. Unfortunately, doesn't find it. There's the rotator, and he picks up one, but will be refragged out instantly by Kingers there. They have lost TVC, which is a little bit of that soft breach. But, I mean, they picked up the Wemai, an operator which regenerates his gadgets, which is, I mean, arguably a far bigger take for Insidious right now.
Yeah, certainly you can see Sadzi rotate up those white stairs as well, but they just weren't playing together. You can see that top floor hold isn't like a strat they had in mind. It was very loose, and they just got refrags straight away, which means there's no top control from the start of Fatality. And you can see this verticality coming down now. They're opening up with breach charges. They're opening up with whatever they have. The Nitro sellout's not going to connect as IQ just jumps on the bed, but if Insidious gets some droning, I can probably see that service is mainly clear.
Yeah, they've committed a lot of utility to try and deal with Spark, who is looking for that tight angle here on to Scoves. Will clean up that mutant. I mean, he was looking for it himself. Wasn't quite able to find it. In fact, got no damage out onto Spark, as they did a bit of a ring around the Rosie with that bed position. Apex from below almost found that line of sight onto the player above, which is Red, sitting in penthouse there on the Nomad. And I mean, there's a lot of priority here. The diffuser is going out, but Maestro will be there. Apple's taking a bit of damage. Reds will find it's Nick the Legion. So that is the trap operator now gone. Sticks the defuse. Apples does get dropped, though. But, I mean, the commitment there from this Insidious side, finding themselves now in arguably a 3v2. Kinga will find the kill on Apex. That is the Maestro. So the Evilizer now gone. Sadzi, the only one left on this Jaeger, looking to try and pick up 3 kills to take this round out. There's a lot of vertical pressure as well out of Insidious. Sadzi, I mean, what can he do in this situation? He's looking for the pick. Those soft walls wide open now. He's pushing in into kitchen, looking for the angle. Little does he know there are operators above which can take him out if he does get too aggressive. And the spray comes out. Reds will clean that one up. Round 5 going to Insidious.
I mean, it's another solid attack round from Insidious. They really clear out these roamers very quickly. I mean, it's before a minute passes and the roamer's dead. There's no presence off site. And then they use that, use those entry picks, use that man advantage to just pressure site until they get that plant down, and just force the defenders, to do a retake.
I mean, it's been nothing short of systematic from Insidious so far. They play the exact same way, the exact same style, clearing out those roamers, then establishing vertical dominance if it is a first floor site, and holding those angles while someone goes in for the plant. Apple's sticking it out, even getting down for his troubles in the end. I mean, that is commitment to the team.
Yeah, I mean, those Maestro Cams certainly can. I think it's down a play. I don't think they can kill them anymore. But only 5 damage with each little tick of the Evil Eye. But it just wasn't enough to stop the Capital getting that plant down. And once the plant was down, it's pretty much a closeout for Insidious again, considering they just didn't let Satsu get a pick at all. They held their angles, they didn't get too aggressive, and they won the round. And it's currently a 4-1 scoreline in the favor of Insidious.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely showing that it is their map as we head into round 6. 30 seconds left in the prep phase. We are back up in Hookah Billiards. And I mean, maybe they have found some sort of strategy which works around Pigbar. They have only reinforced half of that wall there. And if they don't get the bandit batteries onto it, they're going to have a hard time holding onto that site, because if they can get the angle, take out that smoke there, They are going to be flushed out once again, and we've seen exactly what happens when Insidious are able to do that. It's not an easy hold at all for Fatality. In fact, it's not a hold in the first place.
Yeah, because Fatality is opting for no vertical presence for this hooker site. Certainly, as soon as they push this smoke out, Insidious knows that there's no more site presence on A because they can't push in. They push into the double door. You got people on double window looking at that, or people at Aqua looking at that. Like once that smoke is gone, that is the A site lost.
Yeah, and I mean, we're starting to see things set up here. It is going to be the attackers once again. Insidious droning out. We do see the stair hold out of this bandit here, Fluoro, in that position. I think that's the most vertical play we've seen out of them so far. Is they hold these stairs positions rather than going up top. Other than Fluoro, obviously, when he was sitting in penthouse 2, no avail. Unfortunately, he got one kill. It was fragged out immediately by Insidious. And again, they're just playing that slow, methodical style that we've seen out of them so far.
Yeah, you can see some of the drones coming out from the side of Insidious, simultaneously droning top and bottom, clearing everything out. I mean, right now they're probably calling to the IQ that everything's clear. There's nothing there, and now IQ's taking out those bandit charges on the pink, which means it looks like it's going to be a copy of the first round, and that smoke is going to be pushed out.
Yeah, and it is going to be wide open for them to open that up. Hibana in position to make that happen, and I think the smoke has realized it's Nick starting to panic a wee bit because all of a sudden the wall behind him is no longer electrified. Fluoro holding this exact position we've seen him hold before on luggage with that bandit, waiting for that rappel in, but they're definitely taking their time. A minute and a half left in this round. The angle being held there by Spark. Bullwives looking for the rotate down there. It will be TVC out on Aqua balcony there. Little does he know, Fluoro, he was in position to get the flank play, but will just head down to White Stairs as that window is starting to be destroyed. He could push up here, look for a frag there onto 2 members of this Insidious side. He does push up, not able to find anything as he does have to back off. Apples will rotate it and clean him up. So that is the roam threat now gone from that southeastern side. Spark will find another frag onto Scobes. That is the Legion down now. They've got the drop onto King as he has taken a bunch of damage. TVC finds Sadzi. That is the Jaeger gone now too. 5-2 currently in favor of this lethality. Sorry, Insidious side. So many teams that have casted tonight already, but I mean, it's Nick and Apex have a lot of work to do. It will be King just looking through one of these bullet holes, getting those pings out, giving his team the information. They need drones further coming out here. Smoke arrows will be dropped here, and they are going to go for that defuse. Reds finds it's Nick, and he will find the follow-up kill onto Fatality. A flawless round for Insidious coming as they close out round 6.
I mean, again with Insidious' site take, they get the presence, they get the positions they need to take, and then they just utility dump site. You saw those Capital bolts coming out, the fire bolts, and the smoke bolts, and they just locked out the defenders again. Even with that smoke, with that pink bar position, because Hibana couldn't, I don't think they could get those walls up in the very end, just because of time constraints. I mean, they still close it out with a utility.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely drilled, consistent gameplay we are seeing coming out of Insidious so far in this map 1. On the Coastline. They're doing the exact same thing time and time again, and it is really working for them. It shows the dedication and the discipline that they are putting into this game, and we are going to be heading into the half. 5-1 in favor of Insidious right now. On defense, Kingers will be playing that Vigil. TVC will be playing the Mozzie. And I mean, if they're going to carry on in the same style that they have been playing, this could be a very, very quick map hunt.
Yeah, I mean, pre-game we were expecting sort of a closer match, considering what we've seen on Coastline so far. But a 5-1 half, I mean, that's not looking very close. It looks pretty dominating for the side of Insidious. And from what we've seen in the rounds, the one round that Fatality won was kind of just a confusing mess of frags, which ended in their win. But every other round has been pretty dominating from Insidious.
Yeah, and we are going to see some interesting stuff out of the attack strategy for this Fatality side. The Montagne picked up for Furo. They will also opt into that Thermite rather than Hibana, so that Pink Wall and Pink Bar is going to be safe for the side of Insidious, with Red going to be playing that smoke this time. So he's going to have a nice, easy hold in Pink Bar if he decides to sit there. And it will be TVC aggressively on Aquarium Balcony, looking for the run out, is going to get detected. Unfortunately, the attacking side was just a smidge too slow there. He could have quite easily found something, although the first operator he would have been the Monty, so it would have been a hard time. But the interesting thing, though, going into this round is Fluoro was holding onto the diffuser there.
Yeah, Fluoro with the diffuser, but did have the Monty shield extended. I think they were expecting the the spawn peak from TVCX, but it didn't go out. If they don't drone him here, he could get a free frag, but no, the drones should come in just in time for the Monty to see him. And
He does
TV6 will pull back.
He does have the Nitro pushing back into CCTV. We could see the throw here. And this could be that big shield operator going down early. He has Sadzi in on behind him, the Claymore being dropped. He has support of the Vigil, so Fluoro in a position where he is getting a little bit pitched here. The drone going deep into CCTV. And it will be the back against the wall. They're looking into that doorway for the potential impact grenade going out.
I think this Monty made a mistake. He's pushed solo with no teammates behind him. IQ's just coming in now. I don't like to see a Monty push in solo. Even with the shield extended, a one Nitro over the top can kill him still. But you can see the Vigil on that flank through kitchen. I think Vigil knows exactly where these guys are coming from, and he's going to go for a flank.
I mean, these are rather aggressive droning positions out of Fatality as well. Just sitting openly in that foyer there on the drone. Oh, sorry, office, I do believe it. Yeah, it's office, not foyer. It was a bit confusing. That white wall looks the same on both sites. And I mean, sitting in that position, they could have quite easily been rotated in TVC and CCTV, just proed, looking for the angle onto anyone. And he will just be holding that position. It's been a rather slow round out of Fatality so far. No frags whatsoever as we are heading towards the final minute. They have pushed it until Curium. Impact will be thrown towards that castle wall there. Castle is on the beam bomb site, sorry. And he is looking for a potential kill through that soft wall. They are getting in position here. The Monty is in, looking to get the diffuser down. They are taking their time for sure. Final minute. The wide rotate from Kinga. TVC will open things up. Sadzi being dropped. That is the IQ. Fluoro taking a huge amount of punishment here on this Montagne as Kinga is there in the rotate side, looking for that flank. And it has slowed down once again and maybe speaks to, the air jab. Almost cleaning things up there.
TVC below, I think Sophia just dropped. They have to push out. Yeah, and they've got the frag. He had a Nitro plant, but now he's dead. It was a great frag from
Fluoro has been dropped now, putting it into a 4v3 in favor of the defending side. Reds will clean up that with the poison grenades. Mark trades out scopes. So that is the Zofia gone now. No concussion grenades available. Apple's holding this angle on that reinforcement. Time is slipping away for Fatality here. Poison dropped onto Nick. The rotator from behind. Kingers cleans it up with a double kill. The patience paying off.
I mean, really good round from Insidious. Like, certainly the Monty having the diffuser, I don't think is the smartest decision. Since he has to unshield and go crouch pretty much to put that bomb down, I think a teammate should have done that. And certainly with the Monty, they could have pushed away from the smoke. They could have pushed away from that corner and gone for a plant, sort of, I said in a quote-unquote off-site position. But they didn't. They just chose to stick the default plant, and it didn't work out because it took them 2 minutes to push below, and they only got a sort of very loose control of office, in which TVCX and Kingers were still below.
Yeah, and we are in a position where we could have our fastest match of the night. 6-1 in favor of Insidious right now on match point. We are going to see a change in strategy from the attacking side. They opted into the gridlock, obviously. The Montagne didn't work overly well. We are going to be heading back down to Blue Bar Sunrise, but it will be for Insidious this time. They are picking up the Valkyrie on apples as well. And I mean, it's just clearly been working so much more for Insidious in this match, and I'd be very hard pressed to say that Fatality in a position where they could take this a little bit further.
Yeah, so only a 6-1 match point. It's even if Fatality pick up a few rounds here or there, I mean, you're looking to see Insidious pick around eventually, especially on the defending side to close it out.
I mean, how often do you see teams find themselves in a position 6-1 and then have it taken back to a 6-6? It's a very rare prospect as we see the aggressive positioning from Sparked here, looking to maybe get a early run out or a spawn peak if possible. Yeah, he's setting himself up for this position. He knows there is just a slight skill disparity in the grand scheme of things. Not going to be able to find anything. We are heading into action phase. He looks right off the bat. Nothing there. Looking again, won't find anything. They are, in fact, behind him, so he could accidentally get picked up if he's not paying too much attention. He will just play it safe. The stairs are there to give him a bit of cover, though. Luckily, it will be TVC, though, with the initial pick out of Aqua, taking down Nick. The roam threat gone. Fluoro will retrade, taking out Kingers. So that is the Vigil now off the map for this defense side. And early frags.
I don't actually know where this Vigil got killed from. I'm pretty sure he got killed. Yeah, he was running out hooker door. That's very aggressive from the side of Insidious. They want to close the map out, get those early picks. And, I mean, it's only 4-4, but the Nomad's down. That's your only roam denial. That's your only flank denial. They have nothing else. If Sophia's running a Claymore, maybe? Sorry. They have the gridlock. I'm blind. I'm completely oblivious. They do have the gridlock, but certainly losing a Nomad too, it's not great. A King is dying. Is it too bad? His utility is kind of just a personal gadget. It's not really that useful to the team, but Nomad certainly is useful to the team. But I didn't see the gridlock, and that is my bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a bit of a skill disparity going into this game, and it looks like Insidious have identified that. We saw 3 individual runouts there from Sparked, Kingers, and TVC. They got one, they lost one. So all in all, it's not the worst of trades that we could have seen. The Stingers going out, you can quite clearly hear that. And it's definitely another very, very stalled out round from both teams here, aside from that very early aggression out of Insidious. And again, I think we might see Fatality waiting it out into that last few moments.
Yeah, I mean, the attacks of Fatality have been very slow. I mean, we're at a minute 20, and there's been 1 pick each side from small picks, but Scoobs picks up another onto Apples. That's a good frag from Scoobs. Scobes, my bad. But now in a 4-on-3 situation, it's looking a lot better for the side of Fatality.
I mean, yeah, Scobes, it's Scones with a B. He does find that kill on the buck, that vertical play coming in a pretty close. Oh, sorry, not the buck, it's the
Sophia.
Sophia, sorry. It's a bit late for me. We're coming up close to midnight here in New Zealand. It has been a rather long day as well. So he does find that frag. Apple's now dropped the spray coming out from Spark. There's not enough Flora. We'll pick that kill. TVC trading out immediately. The only one with any frags for Insidious in this round so far. He is just going to be setting up on Cool Vibes, looking for the prey. Spray from the SMG-11 in the hands of Red. Takes out Sadsy. That is the IQ. The defuser will be placed down. Scopes getting a double kill. The run out from TVC is denied by the Claymore. He kills it, runs back, finds the spray onto the legs of Scopes. It's not going to be enough. So it is all up to this Jaeger to finish this round out. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's going for the run into the center courtyard, dropping down low in the bar, going prone, is going to be cleaned up by Scopes. He picks himself up a triple in that round as Fatality find their second.
Fantastic individual play from Scopes. He really opened up that defense and just pushed out all those defending players with some nice clean shots. And so it's looking good for Fatality. I mean, but it's still 6-2. I mean, it's kind of hard to get past the fact that they are 4 rounds down. So, I mean, even though they lost, they can still go back to the same site. They can pretty much run the exact same strat. That came down to just pure fragging ability, in which Fatality came out on top.
Yeah, and we are going to be heading to match point again for this Insidious side, 6-2 currently, as we are going to be heading into round 9. It will be Blue Sunrise once again out of this defensive side. The Montagne being 6th picked into the Nomad, which, I mean, largely unimpactful would be the right word. Didn't have any impact whatsoever that last round, as he was instantly fragged by TVC, who will be playing the Wemai this round, and Kingers is going to be on the Jaeger.
Wemai and Jaeger, very powerful combo considering he got added to the pool this season. With the double utility denial, I really like the Wemai Jaeger combo. You can deny grenades. I mean, ADSs get, 2 grenades? But Wemai you get, I think, 5 of them, which means that's an extra 5 throwables. Really powerful utility, but Wemai's also grab Nomad charges, they grab Ash charges, they grab Stingers, tracks, everything. It's a really powerful piece of kit, and hopefully we see TVCX use it wisely. Probably maybe not opt for a round again in case he gets picked up and loses all those magnets, since they are a sort of rechargeable gadget that come over time. But I think he's going towards the exact same run out and he's doing it again.
That's where you're wrong. He's going to go for the exact same strategy again. We'll throw the magnet out, and maybe not. Maybe just going to defensively hold this Aqua Bar. Adapting! The adaptation of this Insidious team. Absolutely big brain as we come into the action phase of round 9. It will be an interesting strategy. They're not going to be playing as aggressively, but I think that Fatality are scared that it is a possibility.
You can see them like kind of hovering in their spawn a little bit more, droning out a bit more of the external doors, just because they know the ability of Insidious to fragging it is really, really early picks. But actually a 2-man hold in Aqua with that with the hatch open, so it seems like they're going to try and hold Office from above. Mozzie and Wabai. So we should see what they do. Wabai's off site, which means he can't put his magnets down for his site anchors. And I think they're about to be drained out from Sadsy here. Oh, he could get picked. No, but they've certainly heard him drop onto Aquaback.
Well, they know that TVC is there. What they don't know is that Sparked is lying down behind the couch. I mean, what sort of a position is this? You got a couch right in front of you. Surely you just lie on that as another drone coming out will again miss Spark. There are 2 players out of that balcony. They're opting for a 3rd drone as Wemai is here looking to clean it out. He will run back into billiards, maybe baiting these players to run into Aqua there so that Spark can pick it up. He hears the aggression being put into Hookah as that door is being opened up. Another drone downstairs looking for information as the magnet does go in just above the door into Hookah, trying to deny that utility out of the Buck, who is currently holding up there. Holding these tight angles. It's very sneaky play. out of this Insidious side, holding tight little hidey holes inside doors, inside rooms. His Spark has dropped down into foyer, looking for something. The spray coming out from TVC is not enough. The soft reach there is not going to be able to clean it up. He finds the head of Sadzi there. That is the buck gone now. Fluoro as well being followed up closely. Spark picks up a kill. TVC finds a third onto its neck. It's all up to Apex as his team has just dropped around him with no refrag potential at all. Yes, there are multiple members of this defender side that are low. He will get the down, in fact, onto Kinga, but there's no real follow-up potential whatsoever for him. He is down. He is in a safe position. TVC is there. Will be able to pick him up as well, and everything that has been gained by Fatality has completely been nullified, as it will be the run out the window from Kinga is looking to reposition. TVC looking for the frag. He finds himself a quad and a flawless round in round 9 for Insidious to win the map.
Yeah, I mean, 7-2 win. It kind of speaks for himself. TVCX picking up a nice 4K at the end. But it just seems like Insidious is just a higher caliber right now. They're just making Fatality have to take 2 minutes to clear out roamers, in which they don't even get that much site control or map presence. So just a really all-around amazing map for Insidious.
I mean, you look at the scoreboard, it tells a tale of absolute dominance from this Insidious side. 11, 6, 5, 6, 3, 2. Multiple high numbers of frags for them. I mean, it was largely TVC just going huge, throughout that entire map. But we do have another map on the way. It is going to be an interesting one for sure. What we'll do is we will throw it to a quick break before we head to Kafe, another map that I am excited to see. Han, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Grab yourselves a drink or a snack if you need to, and we'll be back with all the action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for map 2 of the second series of the night. Insidious versus Fatality. Insidious coming up huge in map 1. 7-2 on Coastline, Han. It was a shutout.
Yeah, a huge shutout. I mean, the scoreline says it. And our second map is Kafe. That is a pick of Fatality. They'll be attacking first with Insidious defending. It's pretty standard. I mean, Fatality's map pick, Insidious chooses to defend. It's what you expect. But from what we've seen from the side of Insidious in that first map, I mean, the 7-2 scoreline, the defenses were a lockout, the attacks were lockouts. It's looking to be a pretty fast series.
Yeah, most definitely. It could be all done and dusted rather quickly. It'd be a hard push for Fatality to take it to Clubhouse as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do to change things up here. Because as we were talking during the break, Han, it's all a bit default out of both these teams. Insidious hasn't really been challenged, so there's no real need for them to mix it up. Fatality are just doing the exact same thing time and time again, not spicing it up, not going for anything dangerous, and it's just not working.
I mean, if we break down the attacking half of Insidious, because that was the majority of the rounds we saw, each round Insidious won, they got an entry. They got the entry, then they got the second kill. So it was an entry onto generally a roamer. Then they got on the first round of the entry, the second round, sorry, was onto a smoke. But they're just getting these entry frags. They're pushing towards site. They've just cornered generally the last 3 players on the side of Fatality on site, and then they just utility dump everywhere and go for the plan. Apple sticks it every single time. Pros don't fake. He hasn't faked once. Even going down on a kitchen defense for it. And they're just locking out the side of Fatality, really convincingly.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see they learned a lesson playing up against Lethality the other week. Don't fake. Don't fake. You just stick it. You guaranteed to get those wins. No, that's a lie. Don't do that every time. It doesn't always work, but it has been working for Insidious so far. Apple is just the dedicated bomb diffuser carrier, just going big for his team, committed to the cause, not playing selfish at all. So it has been working for them. We are just waiting on the last couple of things to get sorted as the players are ready to go on Kafe. It's going to be interesting to see whether we see any form of adaptation out of Fatality as they are starting out on the attacking side. Insidious, I mean, they've been resolute and rather systematic, all said and done, on their halves. So if they continue to play the exact same way in defense in Kafe, I mean, I hope we don't see another triple run out like we saw in the last one, but their holds have been pretty standard. They've worked really well, and their roams have actually been hugely impactful.
Yeah, hopefully we see something new from Fatality. They're really doing a very default defenses and attacks, so it's not what you want to see. Their Insidious's first ban is Thatcher. It's a pretty standard ban to see on Kafe. I mean, there's so much utility available to the defense. that having that thatch out of the way is really useful for when they go into their attacking side.
Yeah, most definitely, especially playing in and around that kitchen bomb site as well can be an absolute to get into if you don't have any tools to be able to deal with that. Again, looking for that roam pickup denial is not going to be possible for this attacking side. As Fatality do ban that one away. They are going to be banning up their first defender as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of a Mirror or an Echo off the bat. Two rather impactful operators on this map as well.
If it's not Mirror, I'll be surprised. I'm expecting a Mirror. And it's a clash.
They were obviously watching what happened between Insidious and Lethality the last time they played against each other, because Clash was an absolute beast. It was a source of much frustration for Lethality Esports, and Echo again will be banned out here, just like in the last one. A lot of respect being played to that Clash there by Fatality. They don't want to play into it, and I don't really blame them.
I mean, they're sacrificing a very influential band for a Clash, and I really don't think that's the right decision, honestly. Certainly, Insidious has been shown to be very strong on the Clash, but over a Mirror on Kafe, if Insidious aren't bringing a Mirror, I'd be pretty surprised. I mean, they might actually not have Mirror strats considering she gets banned so often. But she's such a powerful operator.
It is one of those catch-22s. You find yourself in a situation where do you prioritize target bans against players or just ban what is generically strong? And Mira is one of those operators that is banned time and time again to the point where players don't even know what to do, and she becomes available and it all becomes a bit of a mess. So it will be the 6th pick for the Maestro onto the Valkyrie and the Blackbeard into the Thermites. I mean, it's Kafe. It's a multi-level site, multi-level map. So there's so much vertical capacity for both these teams here. Do we see Romans heading up to the top floor, playing around Christmas Tree and Cigar? There's so much potential for the attackers to just clear from the top down, especially with a kitchen side as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how this defense side starts off and whether or not that, Insidious can shut it out.
The Jackal ban from Fatality was interesting. We saw last map, they kind of were really hesitant to push out any roamers. Even roamers that were just 2 or 3 corridors away from site. They couldn't push them out. They couldn't get the intel. Drones getting destroyed. So banning the Jackal was interesting when they're on the attack side first. They could actually use the Jackal to push out these roamers. You can see Vigil and Mozzie both off site. But they banned him again. So it's just interesting to see when Fatality had a little hiccup in their attacks, but they're not actually exploiting the fact that they could have used the attack ban for someone else.
Yeah, I mean, there was also other options available as well. You still got the Lion there. The only roam denial they opt for is the Nomad on Itsnick, and we've seen it a couple of times where Itsnick has been traded out immediately, as we do see. So here's some windows breaking very early on. The potential for spawn peaks coming from this defense side. And we will see right up to that roof, looking for some of these drone spots into those hatches upstairs. The sledge will just pound it open above those northwestern stairs there. Red stairs, a little bit open as Scopes looking down there aggressively, all said and done.
Certainly for the Nomad to be useful, they actually have to take control first, and then put the Nomad charges down. And only Fatality has... That's where they fumble. Taking those initial picks, getting those entry frags, is really where they're falling a bit short compared to Insidious.
Yeah, and it will be that delayed style of play again. 2 minutes left as the first minute has been used to gather a bit of information. TVC setting aggressively will find that frag on to Scopes there in Christmas Tree. Gets a drone as well. Kinga will find Fluoro. That is the buck gone. The vertical play now almost completely denied. The run out coming from Kinga's on the Vigil. Won't find anything. TVC traded out. It's Nick picking that one up on the note. He will just run himself back in, going the long way around. Unfortunately, King is definitely... I think he might be having a couple of lag issues.
It's glitched. He's got the one way where it's broken on his screen, and for everyone else, that's really unfortunate for Vigil, which means he's pretty much locked outside. So I might see King is just chill around this pink van for most of the map.
Look, if he can be a bit of a distraction, why not? It will help with this defensive side. Just delay things out, stall for time just a wee bit. And he's going to head to spawn himself. He's going to have himself a wee bit of a picnic. Sit on that roof there, spray through some of these windows, try and create a bit of a distraction and draw some attention towards himself. And I mean, it's exactly what you want to be doing. The lines of sight being established there. Sparked almost had the frag onto the sledge, I do believe it was, sitting over on the other side of mining museum there. Just looking for some of these tight angles. Sadzi is going to be pushing in aggressively with that SMG-11. Sparked holding on the train, though. We'll see the peak. Sprays out. Does a bit of damage. Not going to be enough. Rotating around the other side. Will find the headshot. taking out Sadzi now, 4v2 in favor of this defense side. Another spray coming out. It's Nick dropping double for Sparked on this Mozzie. A triple to finish out round one. Insidious coming up massive, cleaning that one up quite cleanly. All the while, Kingers was just stuck outside doing his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's just still stuck outside with that glitch barricade. It's a glitch barricade is a Ubisoft special, really. But Kingers wasn't even needed. You saw Spark close out that round with those nice 3 picks, and there you go. I mean, with 40 seconds left, and Fatality has someone off-site still, who actually hasn't been droned out, and is still just sitting there and picks up 3 to finish it off. That's really not good for the side of Fatality.
I mean, let's be honest, the glitch teaming thing is a Ubisoft special, but we will be heading up to the 3rd floor bar cocktail lounge for the second round of defense for Insidious. The Vigil switch out for the Legion is looking like it will be the place. So Kingers is going to be playing the stealthy trap operator as he will be running around. And I mean, you see what Spark was able to pull out in that last one. He is on the Bandit this time. Similar style of shooting. Very, very aggressive. Able to find headshots quite easily with that MP7. And they are getting themselves set up for this initial push from Fatality.
Again, from the start of the Fatality, out these initial roamers. I imagine on bar there won't be too much roam pressure. So it is a round that Fatality could win, because they don't have to worry about the roamers. But no Capital, even though he's on board. And I imagine that Insidious is going to pretty hard hold that top white corner. So, I mean, just the absence of utility from the side of Fatality is really kind of worrying.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that I do like to see. The Goyo has been picked up for Red here. Those Vulcan shields can delay things so heavily for the attacking side, especially if they do find themselves standing in that fire. It's a rather unfortunate position to find yourself in if you do survive it at all. And a hard hold up on this top floor by the defending side so far, looking for aggressive peaks here, setting up bullet holes so they can try and frag out some of these attackers early on. And it will be, they're so scared of the potential of Insidious.
I was about to comment on that. They're really worrying about the run out and just the amount of doors, windows, random soft walls that are external, like that Insidious can just jump out from and get some early picks. But Insidious choose to be reserved. And actually, probably the smart idea to kind of see what their opponents can bring before they go for any more aggressive, more interesting plays. But you can see TVCX again prepping that white window. He could do a jump out. That's where King has jumped out from last round, I believe, and got stuck outside. But
yeah, it's ironic that they were scared of that doorway, which was the one Kingers couldn't get back inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's again that delayed style of play. Fatality have found the bomb now, so they're just playing it a little bit slower, droning out. A lot of respect being given by them to this Insidious side as Scobes will find the initial frag onto Spark. It is that Bandit god now. Look, try and spray aggressively out that window. Wasn't able to find anything. It will be the extra thermic charge going out as well.
Yeah, that's top red open, but it's a minute 30 down and only top red open now. You expect this piano war to be opened generally at a lot earlier than what Fatality, a lot earlier, than where Fatality is doing, getting the wall open. But I mean, Insidious isn't doing anything special. They're not doing super heavy roam presence or super heavy denial. Like, there's just. I mean, look, they have full control piano. A minute left. No one's droned out top white. I mean, it's just not looking that good right now.
Yeah, and they will be looking to try and get themselves in a position where they can capitalize on this open bomb site. They do have a couple of C4s in the inventory as Red's holding that flank on Cocktail as well. Looking for some of these tight angles, and it's exactly how Insidious have been playing so far. Just hiding away, looking for slight angles where they can find them. And it has been what's finding those heads so far. And I mean, they're just so many overlapping lines of sight and firing lines. Crossfires all over the top floor. Kingers finds a flag onto Scobes. Fluro will trade him out immediately. So that is the Legion gone. Vulcan being dropped there. Damage out onto TVC, who has been a huge fragger for this Insidious side so far. 4-3 in favor of the attacking side. 20 seconds left. So it has been stalled out for a good long while by this defense. Red will find the kill on Fluro, trying to deny the blast. Sadzi was dropped. They clean it up. TVC gets 2. Red gets the C4 kill. And it will be Insidious taking round 2 back-to-back. And it looked like a good push out of Fatality, but it was just cleanly swept up by Insidious in the end.
I mean, it just comes down to the time management. Fatality is droning But they're still not acting on the intel. There's no enemies on red stairs. There's no presence from Insidious on red stairs. They could have dropped, opened up that red wall super quickly, but they opted to sit in the roof. They did get that pick onto Spark. That was a good entry, gave them the man advantage, but in the end, it just didn't really matter, considering it was at 20 seconds when they first went for plan, and you still got Nitro sailing out, takes the planner down, you still in like, what, a 4-on-3 for that push, and there's not much that Fatality can do. They just have to get funneled into the sightlines of Insidious, who we've seen to have really good mechanical skill, and they're just closing it out.
Yeah, heading into round 3, we will be heading to Reading Room Fireplace. The Ella being picked up as well for Red, trying to deny a little bit of initial entry into buildings. There's Grismot mines being a huge nuisance to attackers if not scouted out. In saying that, they also don't have the IQ for Fatality. They've been running the exact same lineup every single round. No deviation, no adaptation being shown by them. And it definitely tells in how this game has been going.
Yeah, like really, Fatality is not wavering from this same lineup with the Thermite, Nomad, double hard breach on Buck and Sledge, and then you got Sophia again with a little bit more soft breach. Sorry, that was soft breach on Bucket. But you can see Insidious is changing things up. It is a different site, so they don't need to especially bring the same ops, but no Jaeger, no mines, nothing to deny any throwables or anything. But still they got plenty of intel. Ella's, Mozzie, and Valkyrie, and Vigil. Like, you're talking about the droning from Vitality is just not going to be there at all, just because there's so much denial.
I mean, if it was Vitality, would it be definitely a very different game? And
Vitality would be a different game.
Yeah, I don't think they could stand toe-to-toe with Vitality as it currently stands, but Fatality, they are dominating so far. They are going to be heading for that vertical play once again, heading straight up to the top floor, looking aggressively down onto the third, and if they can get themselves a foothold onto this third floor, where it is actually going to be TVC sitting on the Mozzie, over by those white stairs as well. I think he has an idea that this is exactly where the attackers are going to be going. He has a drone of his own, so we'll be able to scout things out, looking aggressively for a push into Cocktail. Not going to be able to see anything, as they have definitely taken their time. We'll rotate back, looking for more information. It's definitely, I mean, as slow as it has been out of Fatality, they really haven't been able to capitalize on the invested time.
Yeah, it's a minute and 10 seconds down, and they've really not done much. They've taken the positions they place, and we're about to come down to a minute and a half, like half of the round gone, and not much has happened. An exchange of gunfire, and Flora comes out on top, taking out Kingers. That's your Vigil down, one of your roamers, and Buck's on half 8, which is not too bad. No Jaeger in place. So could have a free kill, but he comes off the nade, not realizing there's a player close on that wall, and TVC has to get some free frags if they're unaware of his position.
Yeah, maybe a lack of familiarity with these maps. I mean, a spray coming out here. TVC will pick up scopes, almost finds another one. Sadzy dropped low here by Red. We'll find a double kill for TVC as he gets Fluoro as well. 4v2, sorry. All of a sudden in favor of the defenders as he finds himself a triple. TV's going big on the Mozzie, spray through the wall, looking for something, has control of the diffuser, finds some damage onto its next. Will use the super shorty. And
he gets it right.
I mean, that's not something I ever expected to see in Rainbow Six Siege. The super shorty on one of the smallest operators in the game. I mean, he's about to lose it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's losing it in the next patch. And it's a low damage shotgun. I mean, close range, like air shotgun, will dominate. But with that sort of distance between him and the Nomad, getting that frag is kind of, it's very surprising.
I mean, that was so long distance with such a small gun. I can understand why it's being taken away from him now. They clean up round 3, heading into round 4. And once again, we see absolutely no deviation from this Fatality side. We will be heading down to kitchen service, kitchen cooking. It's just kitchen, all said and done. And I mean, this is probably going to be a very quick one, Han.
I mean, if you're just looking at that round, just that just happened. TVCX's hold just at the pallets, just next to that double door onto Cocktail Bar. He's just sitting there. And no drones came near him. They didn't even know he was there. He actually got a kill into Fair with a turned, then swung around and saw Buck with his skeleton key out. Like, they just had no idea that he was there. And then you see Sledge come down, White Hall, and gets fragged by the Ella. There's just the absence of intel, even though we saw a lot of droning come out of Fatality, is just really what's like hampering their attacks right now.
Yeah, and they are getting their setup done and dusted. And again, we're going to see a lot more of that roam coming out of Insidious as they have become a lot more comfortable going into this series. They started to show a bit of comfort in that first map, going for the triple run out. Now they have truly read the skill potential out of this Fatality side, and they know that they're not being overly tested, that we're going to see a lot of that level 3 play out of TVC once again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that Roma Scopes will actually find Kingers, who did go for a run out by White Stairs. This level of aggression is great and all if it works, but I mean, that's the second time we've seen Kingers go for a run out and be punished.
Yeah, man, disadvantage to Insidious, but it looked like it really hasn't mattered that much, honestly. Like, they're still closing out these rounds pretty convincingly, with very little back and forth between the two teams. And you got Mozzie on that roam coming to where Spark was for the first round. Actually, I think he's doubling up on Spark in that position. King is putting some sad faces in chat. He did die early on. I think he's going 1 and 3 now. Only getting a pick with a run out. Oh, 2 and 3, my
2
bad.
and 3, so he's got 2.
He's got 2 at least. But again, a minute left, and they got that pick on the person who was running out. But look, they cleared up the entire floor, and now they're just dropping. You see how far away those drones are from their players? If there was someone there, there's no chance of a frag. At all. But Jaeger, with his head turned, does Sadie's not see him? Like, gets the frag onto the DVX on stairs, but Jaeger's still there with his back turned. Does he not see him at all?
Is that not some kind... Well, I don't know what's going on. How did he not see him?
I think
there was...
He's right
there. There we go.
Okay, and Scopes gets the kill, and Sledge just maybe wants to give his teammates some better looking stats, maybe. But a 3-man advantage for the side of Fatality.
They expected the 2 men in the room looking for the other, so they could potentially pick up 2 frags there rather than just the 1. But I mean,
from both sides, Spark being oblivious to a hatch being opened by a very loud Sledgehammer, and then Sledge peeking through the hatch, doesn't see anyone, gets a nice headshot onto the person playing on White Stairs, and then it's just oblivious, and Zafir comes in and gets a free kill.
Yeah, and it will be Sko's opening up into Kitchen as well, looking to try and establish some positions in onto this bomb site. I mean, it's... you've got to laugh just a wee bit with the way things have been going as the bandit trick does go out, denying the exothermic. Red will find a kill onto Scobes with that MP7 frag grenade has been dropped into Kitchen, and it will be Red again over that trap. The frag going deep. Fluoro finding that one, not allowing it to happen a second time. Apples will find the kill onto Frag. So Sadzi taking it into a 1v3. We have seen this position go in the favor of the defenders if given an opportunity, but there is still 30 seconds left in this round. He's going to opt to try and play from above. It will be It's Nick there in a position to potentially contest Fluoro, throwing out drones, and the air jam will knock Apples down in that long hallway there. Heading down
certainly
the
reveal his position to the attacking team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough one. If Apples will find a double, that is the Nomad down. He's got a 1v2 situation to play into. Thermite and a Buck will just destroy the drone. Looking for the angles, and none of these angles are rather spectacular. The C4 going out will not land in a position where it can be used for anything. Presses in aggressively, looks back, trying to find that Buck who has been sitting around. Fluoro has rotated in and off. And they are going to be defending in from that bakery area. It will be him pushing in and will be traded out straight away as Fluoro will clean that one up as they rotated in through that exothermic charge hole.
Yeah, Fatality winning their first attack round, you could see when King started at the start that was maybe the downfall for the side of Insidious, but certainly that Jaeger holding in train was the most confusing point of that round.
I mean, look, Spark needs some hearing aids, and Sadzi needs some new glasses. That's all I can say about the situation.
Yeah, certainly just the absence of an exchange of gunfire is pretty confusing, considering that both players could have just turned around, or Jaeger could have turned around and saw him, and Sledge just pressed mouse 1. But, I mean, Fatality pretty convincingly taking out that round.
Yeah, and we're going to be heading back down to Kitchen. They're going to pick up the IQ this time. Looking to, I mean, they had to deal with the bandit trick coming out of Red there, so I don't think they're going to want to play around any of those shenanigans again. And it will be the switch around. Sadzi and Sparks trading things around here. Sparks will be playing the Mozzie, and TVC will be playing the Jaeger this time. So a little bit of a different setup here from them. They are going to be heading downstairs into that kitchen area. They've got the Valk, and instead the attackers, like I said, picking up that IQ this time, looking for those gadgets. And I mean, it wasn't the cleanest of rounds there for Fatality, but it was a win for sure.
Yeah, certainly came down close, especially considering they had a 3-man advantage. But maybe that round loss, considering they were so aggressive, that round just prior, might make Insidious have a bit more restraint and actually respect their opponents a little bit more, considering they lost a round. But we should see what's going to happen. Mozzie doing the exact same hold upstairs. Sparked again, who on the first one got a nice 3k holding the same position. Who he went for the whole round undroned. They had no idea he was there. He got pretty much free kills, and won the round up for Insidious. But he's probably not going to do a run up this time.
Yeah, and we are going to be heading into round 5. The action phase has started. It's surprising to see attackers spawning over by that waterway. Traditionally a position where, I mean, that's what we've seen King is doing time and time again, going for those runouts and looking for those early frags. He has been punished a couple of times, so won't opt into it this time. Is going to be playing the smoke. So I would imagine, I say that, but it's probably not what's going to be the case. I would imagine he'd be playing that anchor position in the bomb site. He is there, surprisingly enough. Not going to be looking for the aggressive plays, and it looks like it's going to be sparked up in train, and it could be TBC finding an initial frag going out. Speaking of, down from that skylight, we'll take the drone and just drop down into reading room. I mean, we haven't seen the initial frag, and that was ultimately the downfall of Insidious, we did decide, and I mean, maybe now that they've played it a bit safer, they're going to be able to pick this round up.
But look at this. No tops for control from the side of Insidious, and now they're just getting into that upstairs now. Like, they've cleared everything out. There's nothing for them to look at, but they're still being really reserved, really passive. They don't want to take these gunfights because they know how good the side of Insidious is. He could get a frag on TVX. He does. Flo confirms it. He's actually been really good on these entries, picking up another, and that's your only sort of aggressive roamer down. Spark's still holding this sort of anchor position in train. Hopefully we can see something come out of this for the side of Fatality.
He gets it off in the end. The frag does go down. It looked like maybe in a position where he could have messed it up. It has been a series of misplays, unfortunately, for both teams, which have resulted in their opponents taking rounds. Floro does find that entry flag. He's been rather consistent on that so far for this Fatality side, and it's good to see him starting to have an impact. Spark taking a bit of damage here. Look through the drone hole. It's Nick. Little does he know there is support. Well, so not support, the enemy. Just on the other side, looking for this peek through that doorway. It will be beaten down. He finds the swing, will take down Floro. He was arguably rather low, but I mean, he gets that frag instead. He realizes there is potential support for the attackers over in that train room. We'll just back it off. Again, looking to that doorway at the end of the hallway, though, is going to be support. They see him. He doesn't see them because of that sight. Unfortunately, the holographic sight there is undoing. They are pressuring in onto the bomb site. It is going to be Scoves looking into this kitchen directly. And Sadzi taking a bit of damage there from Red. They're looking aggressively for this vertical play. It's what the Sledge has been doing. Nitrocell going out. Will it land? No, it won't. It will be Sadzi just backing off at the last second. Smoke's being used here. King is just sitting in this tight position. Exothermic charge has been dropped. He's got the shotgun. He's looking for it. He finds it. It will be Scobes being shotgunned down. Pellets to the chest. Reds finds a follow-up onto Apex. 3 seconds left. They've drawn it out, and King is looking aggressively. Will find the kill. He will be traded out, but they delayed the time enough that they get themselves round 5 as well. And I mean, you've got to wonder if maybe playing this reservedly is what is giving Insidious these rounds.
I really think it is. I mean, you saw that thermite charge 11 seconds, which means they have a full 9 seconds to plant. And in a situation where you've got 3 players still holding side, even with the man advantage, it just isn't looking like this is Fatality's map. And I mean, I think it's going to be another win for Insidious. Like, at this rate, it's looking to be another win for Insidious.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about the skill disparity that there is obviously going into this game. And it is good to see Fatality here and trying to compete. They have actually taken 1 or 2 very competitive rounds away from Insidious. I mean, that first one that they took on Coastline was a bit rough. It was definitely, it definitely showed that Insidious were a little taken aback there. But going into round 6, 4-1 in favor of Insidious. We're gearing up for a very, very short one. Goyo picked up once again as we are going to be heading back to Bar Cocktail Lounge. Capital picked up by Sadzi this time rather than the Sledge. So maybe just going to look to try and deal with some of these roamers potentially, although it hasn't really been their priority so far.
What I really want to highlight is just Fatality. They're not really losing to Insidious. They're kind of beating themselves. Like, just with the drone, like, that intel is only actionable for a certain amount of time. It's generally like 2 seconds at the max, I'd say. And you gotta have people playing with those drones. It's gotta be like getting the intel, getting the frags if necessary, or taking the positions. But if Fatality's droning, then there's no one near them. And then the drones get shot, and then they're left with 3 drones left. They have to all drop. And it's just not looking good for Fatality. It's not looking coordinated. And Insidious just capitalizing on the fact that they don't have to even worry about the intel, really.
Yeah, it's like DJ Khaled said, congratulations, you played yourself. And that definitely seems to be what's happening on the side of Fatality currently. They haven't been utilizing what information gathering they can get so far, and they found the bomb site, which is traditionally how things start off for them, but it's really how they capitalize on the position, getting in aggressively, establishing dominance around these sites. As without the sledge, they do have to commit the impacts to take down these hatches as well. The drone's coming out aggressively, peeking onto red stairs is going to be Scopes. And again, I mean, they're looking for these tight angles, and the defense is so standard out of this Insidious side that is it that they're not reading into it? They're just not familiar with it. That's the question.
It looks like a bit of both, really. I mean, we certainly saw on Coastline as well. They're still not playing with their drones. You need to have someone on the drone. Certainly with Scopes, who's been actually a very good fragger throughout the series. He has the ability to land those shots and take out those Insidious players. But again, not playing with the drones. There's no drones coming near him. In fact, that Jaeger is sitting right next to the wall they're about to open, and they have no clue.
Oh, he's breaking open some of these holes. He knows the exthermic's coming out. He has the line of sight. They did see him. He gets the down early on onto Scopes. That is one of the high fraggers for this Fatality side. Spray going out onto red.
Surely he doesn't get a second. Yeah, he's pulling back. I'd say if Spark got a second or even a third there, I'd go, Fatality, what are you doing? I mean, that's just... I mean, a man left unpunished for what should be a really easily pushed out angle. You might get a second here. That's a down onto Sadsi, but I think he's going to burn away unless he can get out. Low HP though, but Sadsi is down. They've sacrificed his piano control, but a minute left, and it's looking really good again for the side of Insidious. And the Doc too. It's nullified. Sadie's picked up, but it's looking really good for the side of Fatality.
It will be Fluoro holding into supply room as the rotate from TVC down the stairs from behind. Will clean him up. Sadzi rather low. Apex and Nick got a lot of work to do to be able to bring this one back, and Sadzi just going for the prone peak. Will be backing up his teammates there as he jumps in, grabs himself a cigar, as you would if you're Capital. The peak coming out from Sparked is punished by him, despite being incredibly low. Maybe it was that cigar that helped him pick up that, as we will see another exthermic charge going out into that main bomb site. And they are going to be looking to try and find the head of any defender that is silly enough to stick his out, I suppose.
A minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds left, sorry. 3 nitros on board. Yep, 3 nitros on board. Go Shield's still down. As soon as this plant gets stuck, Apples is going to swing out and get pretty much a free kill, and someone can only thing they can do is plant. They're probably about to get a ping on the planter. If not, yeah, Red with the Nitro takes out Apex. That's your planter gone. Kiz picks up a second onto Sadie, the low HP Capital. And now in a 1v4, Nick picks up 1 onto Apples, but can he get any more? With 1 second left, no, he can't. And that's the round 1 for Insidious. 5-1 half. Really good defense side.
I'm pretty sure that TVC there, I think it was sort of left unseen, but TVC tried to Nitro out Kingers from below. Almost got it too, but luckily for Kingers, he was just standing a wee bit off. Yeah, it was just on the screen there, so people may pick up on that or not. I mean, I suppose they are in such they have such a lead in their hands right now. They can look to do whatever they want to, as it will be Insidious heading to the attack side, and they have a vastly different lineup here for them. They've opted into the Gridlock and the Ash, so a lot of soft breach and a lot of roam denial here, although it really hasn't been a strategy we've seen this Fatality side playing, as they will be heading down to Kitchen.
It'd be interesting to see where the castle placements are put from Apex. He could try a default sort of bake tank, but I'm not wild about that hold, honestly, for Kitchen. It's not, in my opinion, the best or the most viable for a very strong site. And with the Ash and Zofia on board, those castles really aren't going to do much with 2 Ash Breach charges and 2 Zofia impacts. They're going to be taken out pretty quickly, I'd assume.
Oh, Scopes just showing a lot of discipline there. Almost took out the shins of his teammate. Looking for that drone. And yeah, the castles will be going down into Bakery. So they are going to set up...
Oh, yeah.
It's surprising. They're setting up rotate holes for themselves through Kitchen into that hallway there. And they will drop 1 reinforcement, but it's not a setup that we have seen for a while.
Yeah, they are going for a coat room. They're doing like a quote-unquote extended site hold. So they're forgoing, I'm pretty sure they're forgoing this vertical pressure, and instead opting for to hold red stairs, probably to hold landing, to hold coat room, which is that little room to your right, which he castled the window off on, and they castled off that double bar door. It seems like they're gonna use that double door from Kitchen and that rotate from the reading room wall. Sorry, the red corridor wall as their main entries to and from site. Considering they have 2 players actually holding in Bakery, Smoke and Jaeger. I mean, and yeah, immediately from the side of Insidious, they've read into it. They've taken full bar control, full VIP control. They can basically go for this freezer wall uncontested, which they are doing right now, actually. And yeah, with 2 players in Bakery, and I mean, it is a turtle hold, but it's about to rush into site, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, Sadzi took a bit of damage in the initial round of that Ash charge going out. Will open at that wall as well, giving them some more lines of sight. And it's not a hold that we've seen in a while. And it's evident why it really doesn't work as we see TVC looking aggressive. Little does he know, there is the shoulder defender just around the corner of that window. He will force him out with the flash from the teammate there. Spray going out. Looking for another Sadzi's drop. Enemy is outside. They have downed Sparks. Although the defuse is going out, Apples again. On the diffuser. Dedicated roll. Scobes will find the kill on the King as that is the Ash gone now. Although largely done her job so far. Apex will find the kill on TVC after Fluoro is dropped. So a 3v3 currently. Dreads drop. Sparks is down as well. Nick will find a kill. He is going to be dropped there by Apples. It is all up to It's Nick. And he is coming in from behind. I think they realize he may have seen the foot there. He did, but it was too late.
Oh, he prones at the wrong time.
Hole. He pulls off. It's Nick is going to give away his position. Apple sees him. Apple's going to reposition here. Look for something a little bit more favorable. Has picked up Spark in the time given. And as well as Apex. So they have 2-on-2 at the moment. 9 seconds left. 8 seconds. 7.
And they don't have enough time.
The
knife from Spark.
As he will finish up, taking the 7th round. Disrespect or just outplays. It's up to you. I'll let you decide. But he runs in, smacks out the bandit, and It's Nick will drop.
I mean, Insidious is just, they read exactly into the hold. They're running the castle on kitchen, doing all the default bakery holds, and what they do, just push Freezer, because you don't play anyone in Freezer or near around that entire side, really, besides that Maestro, when you're doing a hard bakery hold, and Insidious just ignored it. And it kind of shows the disparity in skill between these two teams, in which their entire strat is void by a single wall, which they didn't have any utility trying to possess or keep hold of.
I mean, you look at the scoreboard, it's evident how things have been going so far. The bottom fragger for this Insidious side has been Apples. And I mean, he's sort of been, he's that support player anyway. He's relegated to the bomb carrier. He's sitting on those cams, giving his team information. And he is that hard breach as well. I mean, we're coming into this. It is match point in match 2. We saw it go 7-2 in the first one. It is now 6-1. So at most, if things are going to carry on the same way they have been, we've got at most 2 rounds left in this game. Honestly, it's probably only the one. It's just been Insidious styling on Fatality on this. Fatality's map pick as well. So this is probably going to be quite short-lived. The drones are coming out. They have picked up their standard, lineup. They've opted into the castle for Fatality as well. It's something they've been picking up time and time again on defense, and I really don't know if it is the play here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The UMP is a low impact gun. It's pretty terrible, actually. But I'm just not sure about the castle. That's what it comes to. I'm expecting they're going to barricade off some windows, as well as that as well as that cigar door. This double one he's going to right now. And yep, his castle barricading it, which means they're doing a piano take. They barricade off that piano window. I mean, this is very default. Like, this is what teams in ranked even come into now. Like, and King gets a first frag onto Sadie. That's your Jaeger down. I'm not even sure what he's doing. He's just running straight through the bottom floor, coming up those red stairs. We get a really early take onto site now, but it's just slowed down a little bit. But
yeah, they know exactly where they're spawning, so he will just get that initial frag, putting them at an early man disadvantage. It is also the Jaeger down as well. That is the roam threat traditionally being played there. I mean, King has just run straight in the front door. That is just so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, just Insidious knows what sort of level they're playing against, and that's kind of what it comes down to, is they know they can kind of go aggressive, more reckless plays. Maestro Cam coming out, doing a bit of damage. They know they have someone on top white, but nice crossfire. So Scobes picks up one on King. Now it's leveled it out, 4-on-4, but Scobes is really low. He pulled back from that cigar shop hold and just opted to be more passive, really on about 20 HP. Nitro could get a nice frag, but he still gets onto TVCX. Now to 3 vs 4. This is looking a lot better for Fatality.
That is the Zofia, which will mean Evil Eyes are just that much more effective. They don't have any real tools to be able to deal with it unless they shoot it while it's open. They find themselves at a man advantage right now as the last couple of drones are being cleaned up by this Fatality side. And I mean, we've seen a 4-fun round before out of this Insidious side. This could be another one of those taking it a little bit less seriously than they probably should be in the situation. He sees that deep angle here, getting a bit of damage if possible. No, it's not enough. Not quite able to find any sort of body hits. Exothermic charge is being set up in the piano room there. Spray in onto bar. It will be Apex dropped by that big machine gun in the hands of Gridlock, the Aussie monster here. And things have been evened up. 1 minute left, and it's this delayed style of play, which has been hugely detrimental to Fatality so far. Spray coming through the wall. It's Nick cleaning up Spark, the other very impactful member of this Insidious side. 3v2 currently. It's Nick and Scobes very low. Pre-fires coming out from Apples, who is looking to find something here. We will see the Gridlock going in onto Cocktail as well. The Freezer hold out of It's Nick. Sorry, no, Bathroom. Looking into Freezer. Red finds Fluoro. 2v2 currently. Scobes and Nick very, very low at the moment. 30 seconds left. Will look for the spray. Takes the diffuser down. Then his Apple's gone. It's all up to Red. Triple kill for him. Shotgun through the floor. Scobes looking to pick him up, and they will take a round.
Ooh, Nick with a 4K.
Going huge. Taking Fatality just that little bit further. We are now 6-2. And I mean, we've been in this position before, and Insidious were able to clean it out in Coastline, which was Fatality's pick. Will it be another map in the... another round in the favor of Fatality? Will they be able to take it to a 7-3, or will it be that 7-2 like we saw in the last one?
I mean, Fatality played really well around that entire push from the side of... But I'm expecting that those rounds to be few and far between. Insidious is still looking really dominating. Like, the biggest difference I see between these two teams is they've both gone to this cocktail bar hold. And the difference is, at a minute 30, Insidious had full piano control, they were breaching into Freezer, they're pushing players out of positions. At a minute 30, you have Fatality still on the roof when they were attacking. Like, that's your biggest difference. At 30 seconds, they could have planted. Fatality really is at that 20 seconds, 10 seconds mark where they're actually going for this plant, and it's not working out. But, I mean, Fatality did a really good round there playing around those attackers, and I liked what I saw.
Yeah, and we are going to be heading into match point again for Insidious. 6-2 currently. He set up downstairs in kitchen for Fatality. And again, we see Apex picking up the castle. We can see that extended sight hold coming out of them. And it's exactly what we're seeing out of Fatality again. It didn't work the last time. I wouldn't be surprised if Insidious read into it again. This could be the end for Fatality in the series, Han. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Insidious cleanly close it out.
Yeah, we've seen Fatality kind of do the same thing over and over again. Their attacks have the same lineup, their defenses have the same sort of lineup and strats. And I mean, Insidious will see the castle and go, hey, they're doing another cupcake and bakery. What can we do? Just take the other side of the map and push site. And I imagine they're going to do something similar. Bandit upstairs getting hatched. I mean, it's pretty standard. You can see them kind of, yeah. Sophia's already coming in bottom white. Sort of collapsing on site.
I wouldn't even be surprised if we see the same level of aggression of King, as Apples has copped a bit of damage early on. And I mean, there's no diversification, there's no adaptation out of this Fatality side. They're running what they think works, and it really has showed that it hasn't, as the very, very late reinforcement coming out of It's Nick up on that red stairwell. And I mean, into Mining Museum, he's going to be holding that position. I think this is the first time we've seen them holding an off-site spot. It's Nick very, very far away from his teammates.
Sophia breach up. Nick could get a kill into Sophia if she's unaware of his position, but Lay's just down and doesn't hit TVCX. She's been revealed now. It's not great for It's Nick.
Yeah, it will be Fluoro holding very, very deep onto site. Sparked finds Apex. That is the castle down. And I've got to wonder if there is much left. And Kingus has been dropped here, so it is currently a 4v4 as he will be picked up. So the advantage going back in the favor of Insidious. It has been that slow style of play, and again, it's just Insidious playing the way they have been, getting the drones out, getting the information, and then going for that all-out push onto the bomb site. It's worked for them so far, so why not change?
Again, the biggest difference between these two teams, just the time management. They're up above site at a minute 30. We didn't see Fatality above site until about 40 seconds. That's a whole 40 seconds. They were still just off site and not really doing that much. Now, TVCS could pick up one onto Bandit. He's holding his off position, but it could be a free kill. He swings out. Nice kill from It's Nick, taking out TVCX, leveling the odds 4-4. With the low HP kids, could get a second onto Nomad, but just doesn't land the shots. Red pulling back a bit, knowing that engagement probably not going in his favor.
Yeah, It's Nick has come up big in a couple of these 1v1 fights. And the later half of this map is the drones are in position. They know exactly where these defenders are in that kitchen area. And they will just still be playing that slow game. A minute left in this round. Match point for Insidious. They're just going to play it smart, take it easy, and look for those frags. Adius dropped in kitchen there. It's Nick will find another onto red, though. So favor in the hands of Fatality, currently 4-3 as it stands. They've still got a Thermite and an IQ and a Capital. I don't know if they've realized if there is a defender on the other side of that wall. The crouch looking. Sorry, the spray going in from Spark is not enough scope. We'll just wide peek with that SMG-11. Sorry. getting caught in my throat. It's Nick finds up another triple for him. Kingers will find a kill, but Sadzi trades him out straight away. And Fatality actually take another round in this game, taking it to a 6-3.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually, again, Fatality just played around these Insidious players. I mean, they can't push them towards the direction they wanted. A lot better hold with that Bakery castle again. So it's just nice to see that they somewhat adapted, not in their strat, but in their playstyle.
Yeah, most definitely. Opting for a bit of a spread in terms of the defenders. 6-3 currently, as we are going to go into round 10. Reading Room Fireplace is going to be the site opted for Fatality. It is going to be the Goyo pickup as well, an operator which I've been a huge fan of. I know you've talked about it as a lot as well with those Vulcan shields. Can slow things down for the attackers, which really has been this Fatality team start.
Yeah, certainly the Goyo is just, I mean, running Goyo and Smoke. That is a combined, like, almost a minute of just time where they can't walk forward because they'll take damage. You can't stick a plant because you'll die. Like, that's really powerful to the defending side, and that's why most maps are defender side are just the amount of utility, the amount of powerful utility that the defenders have at disposal. Just, I mean, it makes it very hard for attackers to actually push anything.
Yeah, and they are getting themselves all set up for potentially the final round in this map, potentially the penultimate round, so we could see another one after this if Fatality are to take another. But it is going to be a setup in Reading Room Fireplace as well. Will they be able to hold it? I mean, they've really struggled in some of these positions. It's largely come down to It's Nick, who's currently 12-0-5, playing on the Mozzie in this round. He has a huge amount of kill participation for his team. And, I mean, it's largely on his shoulders to be able to come up big in this round again.
Yeah, I mean, It's Nick's going really big. That 4K in the round, just on the 8th round, and then coming in big with those 2 kills, holding in reception door. He's really going just huge for his team, playing around those Insidious attackers and getting those not easy frags, but very influential frags exactly when he needs them.
Yeah, and the action phase has started. They're getting themselves all sorted, as we will see Insidious heading up to that top floor as we see TVC looking aggressively in through that window. Throws the drone in. Going to play it just that little bit safer into Piano. Not going to rush in headlong, which we have seen from them a couple of times. Is going to drone out the Nick there on the Mozzie behind that Vulcan shield. Could be a bit rough if they are able to get that deep impact and zone him out completely. Aggressively peeking, finds the head. That is the top fragger for Fatality down. Taken off by TVC, looking through some of these soft breach holes that have been set up willingly or not. As the drones coming in big here for Insidious, they're finding so much information off the backside of it. They know there are other players up here on this 3rd floor looking for the wide swing. Almost finds the back of the Jaeger there. Sadzi in a rough position, being egressed by multiple attackers at the moment. Holding some of these tight angles. Fluoro is there to back him up. Scobes will find a trade out into TVC though. Scobes, largely unsung on that SMG-11, has found 7 frags so far in this game. Has been putting in a great performance as well. Despite the deficit they now find themselves in, those drones looking further and further up onto this top floor. They've found Sadzi, they've found Flura as well. Scobes finds another double kill for him. That will be the Nomad gone now as well. So no more air jabs available for that rotate threat. Fluro sitting deep on that belt. Down
yeah, 2 players upstairs for Fatality still, and a man advantage as well. It's actually looking really good for Fatality. Spark picks up one to the fluoro, that's one of your upstairs players gone. But Sadzi picks up another onto Kingers and doesn't get the frag, gets refragged immediately by Apples. And now on a 2-on-2 with a minute left. It's not looking too bad, but it's not looking great for the side of Insidious.
Yeah, unfortunately he wasn't able to get any damage down onto Apples from that position. And it will be largely up to Apex and Scopes. Scopes has had a couple of key frags in some of these rounds. He's already got himself a double in this one with the SMG-11. Apex 1-1-8, the support player for the team, will need to go big to help his teammate clean this one out and take it to a 6-4. I mean, you've got the Goyo sitting in there holding... No, sorry, the Scopes sitting there with the SMG-11 in that tight angle behind the Vulcan shield. The exothermic charge is going down into Reading Room. Scopes has to go big here. Sitting behind the Vulcan. Will get the early spray onto Spark. Takes him down. Triple kill for him. It is a 1v2. Pulls out the shotgun. It will be Apple spraying, and he will be taken out. Apex finds the 2nd kill of the game, and the 4th round for Fatality, taking it to round 11. This is much closer than we expected it to go, huh?
Yeah, I was expecting a 7-2, a 7-3, but we're currently at 6-4. Fatality's actually bringing it back. This is really good to see from this. Like we saw, a lot of hiccups in their attacks on Coastline, a lot of hiccups in their defense on Coastline. But now we're seeing actually a really strong Fatality that's winning gunfights, winning individual duels, and just closing out these rounds.
Yeah, you gotta wonder maybe if it's that mental fatigue that coming out for Insidious here. It is getting a bit later in the OC region. It's currently 1 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand here, so it's still pretty late over there in Australia. And I mean, maybe they are just messing around a wee bit. They have given a couple of rounds over. They've still got a lot of room to work with. 2 rounds before it does go to overtime, close it out at any. If they do so decide, it will be the Bar Cocktail Lounge start for this round 11 for Fatality on the defense. And I mean, are we going to see the seriousness come out for Insidious here and look to shut it out? Or are they just going to take it a little bit easy, look to mess around, try some different things, and maybe have a bit of fun?
This is the map choice of Fatality, but if a 5-round comeback to bring it to OT, that's not so much Fatality being really well versed on this map, but really Insidious like just having something going wrong. Something's not lining up for them. They're not the same as they were in these initial sort of 7 rounds. And hopefully we see Insidious sort of pull back. Maybe it's their mental game. It is, yeah, like you said, it is very late, especially for New Zealand people, and I'm pretty sure that Insidious has some New Zealand players. So, you know, maybe it is just fatigue setting in, but hopefully we can see them close out the map or see Fatality bring a 5-round comeback.
I mean, the alternative is maybe some of these guys got started on the weekend just a little bit early, inebriating themselves just a wee bit and you know, impacting the way they have been playing, and it will be that hard piano setup once again, seeing it played by Fatality here as the action phase has started. 20 seconds down, and it will be Insidious getting themselves up onto the roof, and it looks like Apple's did a bit of a dive roll. Bit of a graphical glitch there. It's a bit unfortunate sometimes, but it makes for a bit of a laugh sometimes.
I mean, I am liking what I'm seeing from Fatality right now. I really like how they like really doing a good job of playing around the Insidious attackers. Like it's not coming down to how they're playing strat wise. It's coming down to how they're individually working around these players, and that's Nick and Scoops coming in huge.
Yeah, they've definitely upped their game so far. Maybe it took a while for them to get warmed up so that they can come into this. It's just round 11, 6-4. I mean, a position we didn't expect to see them in after that initial map going down 7-2 early on. And it will be the repel in from TVC. He doesn't realize that there is someone behind that catch. He does. He's figured it out. He saw the foot, takes out Apex. That is the castle gone. Follows up with a kill onto Sadzi. Double kill for him.
TVC Expert like
bit of this round.
Very crisp, very nice shots onto Sadzi and Apex. That's all piano control.
Yeah, and they are going to set up those exothermics onto that red stairway wall as they are getting themselves in onto this 3rd floor. They know exactly where the bomb site is. The ADSs are there, though, just going to deny a little bit of that concussion. Evil Eye behind them. They have to scatter that one out. We'll shoot it as it does open. So they have themselves a serious foothold up on this top floor. It's Nick standing on those white stairs looking for a head if he can find it. The rotate in from Fluoro coming in behind Cocktail through Freezer.
Oh, deep flank from King. Could get one, does get one onto Fluoro. Good frag. Could get a second onto It's Nick, and he does. That's a double kill for King. It's now on a 5-on-1 for Insidious. They're really pulling this one back, and unsure. Yeah, Scopes is downstairs, and look at that. King is holding his ankle, knows exactly where it's coming. Footsteps, and it's looking like a pretty unwinnable situation for Scopes.
Yeah, he's going all the way down the stairs. He's being followed aggressively by these attackers. Finds one onto Sparked. We've seen him in this position before with that SMG-11. He's going for the wide swing over to that north side, but the Capital King has read it. He's following like a bloodhound on the scent. He knows exactly what's going on. He's not going to give him an inch. It will be Scopes coming up the stairs. Capital is there looking for one, and not even a chance to pull the trigger. King shuts it out in round 11, 7-4, 2 maps to Insidious to close out the series.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Insidious put it back there. I think they stepped their game up. Certainly Fatality seeing those 3 rounds in a row. Really good to see from Sun Fatality. It shows what potential the team has. But again, Insidious just closing it out.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows if Fatality can look to learn and going into the rest of this tournament, they could actually start to take some maps away from those middle-of-the-pool teams. And I mean, if they look to improve and up their play, we could see them definitely in a position, you know, in the next couple of seasons where they are threatening that playoff stage as well. But it will be Insidious shutting up the night. We've had 2 clean 2-0s tonight, Han.
Yeah, I mean, the first series coming down to a close overtime, but this series being less close with a 7-2 on Coastline than a 7-4. But credit where credit's due. Fatality's rounds, which they did win on Kafe, have looked really good.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little upset. We didn't get to see Villa tonight. We didn't get to see Clubhouse either.
Or theme
Go
park.
to a map 3. No theme park, which much to the chagrin of Han over.
I'm shattered.
But yeah, that is us for the night. Insidious win. And yeah, I mean, looking at Group A, it is going to mix things up just a little bit. I mean, we see Insidious now on 2 wins. So they pick themselves up a chunk of points here. Vague as well sitting in second place, having picked themselves up 1 win. Lethality and Fatality both sitting currently bottom of the pool. So it's going to be interesting to see, whether Fatality can contest Vague. I mean, Insidious Han has definitely established themselves as top of the table for Group 1.
Yeah, you can definitely see that in just how they play. Just it comes down to the individual skill in a lot of these rounds, and TVCX landing some really nice shots on the Zofia. But just great individual play from the side of Insidious. Certainly playing as a very good cohesive team. You can see them close to the drones on the attacks and defenses. They're in positions to refrag. You just didn't see that as much from the side of Fatality, and that's just something they got to work on. And hopefully, if they pick that up, we can certainly see them being a really competitive team.
Yeah, I mean, looking down the line, though, Han, we've got playoffs coming eventually, and some of these other teams in the different groups are quite high up there. They've been touted as some of the favourites for the tournament. The likes of Skyfire, the likes of August, the likes of Crusaders even are going to be, they've got a little bit more contested pools, to say the least. They've got a little bit more of a challenge on the way. Insidious, I mean, you look at them, they haven't been tested so far. I mean, they got pushed a little bit by Lethality in the first series they played against the Vague. They had a moment where they may have lost to Lethality in tonight's games. Is it going to be a case of, Insidious sweep through the group phase, they win their games rather handily, all said and done, they hit playoff phase not having been tested or challenged at all, so they don't need to adapt, and then they just get clean swept out in playoffs because they haven't had to adapt or improve? That
is a worry I see for the side of Insidious. But based on what they're running generally more default things. That just could be because they realize the level they're playing with. Which isn't discredit to Fatality, but it kind of shows in just how they attacked and how they defended. So maybe Insidious has something up their sleeve for the playoffs, which I think they certainly need against the teams like Crusaders, August, just the really dominating teams in their brackets as well. But hopefully we just see Fatality come back, after playoffs maybe next season, who knows? Just as a stronger, better team based on what we've seen here.
Yeah, and I mean, that is us all done and dusted for the night. Big shout out to our sponsors, Aftershock PCs and Tournament, who have been helping make all of this possible. Thank you to the boys in the back, Snook and Nuttery, who have been making the show possible. We had a couple of hiccups at the start, but they have done a great job making sure that the rest of the night has gone quite smoothly for you guys. And thank you again, Han, for joining me. It's always a pleasure when we get to cast together. Make sure that people at home know your socials so they can follow you and support you as well.
On Twitter, I'm Han_. That's about it. What are your socials, Blue?
Well, on Twitter, I am at NZ_Bluepanda. That is really about it. But we do have some exciting news, Han. I mean, as you guys are watching the replays on the screen as it is, Han, myself, Nuttery, a couple of others here at AEC will also be joining for the Rainbow Six Masters Open qualifiers tomorrow. So make sure you definitely check us out. Han, what channel will you be streaming?
I'll be on my stream channel. I'll probably put it in chat at some point. It should be my username, HanY_. And what will you be on your channel, Blue?
No, we'll be streaming off of Snook's channel. It will be myself, Covert, and Sam doing that one. So definitely come along, support us. And I mean, it's the Masters qualifiers for ANZ. There's going to be some pretty big name teams taking part in that for sure. So it'll definitely be a good game of six. So make sure you check that out. But otherwise, that is all us done and dusted for the night. Enjoy the replays, guys. Come back for the next day of play, because I mean, it's always been good to sit here and cast and watch AEC Rainbow Six Minor League. But that is all us for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you follow the channel, and we'll see you next time, guys.
can try, but can do it like Vinny.